Hello guys, this is Nathan. I'm back with another game review. This time I am reviewing Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. I've played this game since the early alpha and betas, and I have a lot of videos already posted on my channel of it, so I thought it was about time I actually did a review of this game. Now, back in September 2010, they had an original version of this game that was really bad. It was very flawed. The mechanics didn't work too well. Even though it did have better graphics, the game itself was very tediously difficult, and a lot of people had a lot of problems with it. So fortunately, Squeenix, as I call them, decided the best route was to actually go and rebuild the game from the ground up. And they took their game engine and modified it, and it runs off a Crystal Tools game engine. And it was re-released as A Realm Reborn in August 27th in 2013. And what they did is they had went back, they had changed the environments, they had added and tweaked the mechanics, and added a whole load of other features to the game to actually improve it. They even went and pretty much destroyed the old version of the game. If you watch the opening scene on this, you'll see that they literally destroy the game world, and that's how they come up with the reasoning behind the name of A Realm Reborn and have a new environment. So it may still take place in somewhat the same world as the last game, but they changed enough of it to where it's pretty much like a different experience all throughout. It runs off of the PC, PS3, and PS4. Now, the PS3 version, since this game is an MMORPG, I've noticed the PS3 struggles to play it, especially if there's a lot of things on screen at once. It can lead to some glitching. So if you do have the choice, I recommend you playing the PS4 version or the PC version, because they pretty much have enhanced graphics, better draw distance, and a lot more characters on screen. Now, total in the game right now, they have 19 classes and jobs, and 11 different crafting and gathering roles. And they will be adding 3 new ones here soon with the expansion. The expansion is called Heavensward, and it's going to be released on June 23rd. And it's going to cost about $39 for the regular version, or $130 for the collector's edition, which pretty much comes with an art book, a dragon statue, some music CDs, and I believe some like movie DVDs or Blu-rays, basically all the different movies they've released up to date for the game. And they will be also raising the level cap, because the current level cap in this game is 50. They will be raising the level cap and adding 3 new jobs and classes in the expansion. First, the new one will be Dark Knight, then the healer will be Astrologian, and the DPS will be a Machinist. Now, currently in the game, there are 31 different dungeons you can run through, 7 different primal battles, and also they're called the Binding Coil of Bahamut, which is still currently some of the hardest content in the game. They're like 8-player dungeons, which are very difficult even now that they've kind of nerfed them down a bit. Now, there's over 180 different total main story missions in the game, and you use those basically to get your character's level up to 50. Along with throughout the game world, they'll have these random missions that pop up that anyone can join that are called Fates, which are pretty much full action time events is what they're called. And if your level's too high, it'll bump your character's level down to correspond with what the level of the fate is. It's called pretty much level sync. And it will do that with your character if you're in a dungeon as well. So if you go in and you have like some of the best gear and you want to help your friend out in the level, it will bump your level down to correspond to the dungeon you're in, to make it fair, so you can't just go through and one-shot enemies. That way it balances it out. Now, this is a pay-to-play game, so even if you buy the game, which at new cost was $39, I think you could get it pretty much a lot cheaper than that now. And a lot of times when you buy the game, you will receive a free 30-day trial of the game. It is a pay-to-play game, so it roughly costs about $12.99 a month to play it if you want to have 1 character per server. Or if you pay $15 a month, you can have a total of 8 characters per server for a total of 40 characters. Now, I generally don't see the point to that, because you can have 1 character on a server and you can switch between all classes. You can take one character and get him level 50 on every single class and job in the game. And all you have to do is change like your gear set, and you can change. So you can be a DPS, you can be a tank, you can be a healer. If you want to just go out and like farm, you can do that. All you have to do is just change your gear set, and you can change to it. So you're not stuck with just one main role through the whole game. Now, so far in this game, they have released a total of around 11 different update patches along the way since the game first came out. And they've added everything from like your company housing, which you see here. They've added all kinds of different new mounts, new dungeons, and generally when they add new dungeons, they will add 3 new dungeons for each update patch, which normally consists of 1 new dungeon and 2 modified hard versions of previous dungeons. But what they do is they add new enemies, and they remix the dungeon levels to where, even though it's somewhat the same dungeon, they have it changed in a way to where it's pretty much like a completely new experience. To where it's really nice. Now, generally, the lower level dungeons you can play through with 4 players, which consists of 2 DPSs, 1 healer, and 1 tank. Now, the higher level dungeons, like hard mode dungeons and most of the primal battles, consist of 8 players, which normally is roughly about 4 DPSs, 2 healers, and 2 tanks. And then they also have like Crystal Tower and some of the other levels, which have up to 24 players at a time. And generally they're in different, groups of like, about 3 groups of 8 each. And they also have a PvP player mode, which you do have your standard 8-player battles, 12-player battles, and they also have a big old capture the flag area that's called Cartano Flats, which you can have up to 72 players in it at one time. So that can be rather hectic as you're playing through it. Now, with this game, I have noticed the vast improvements compared to the original version. From what people have told me, they've bumped down the graphics compared to the original version, but they did it in a way to where it's actually a lot better, so they can allow for more enemies on screen and for the game engine to handle a lot more going on. Now, you do have different races that you can pretty much start as in the game. You can be male or female. You have these big bulky guys like I am called Rogalins. Then you have the cute little, pretty much they look like midgets that are called Lalafels, the little adorable things. Then you have the Minot, which are half human, half cats, and they seem to be the favorite of the game. You'll find more of them than anything else, no matter where you go. And then the last one is the Humes. They're basically like an elven human characters. Now, with the expansion, they will also be adding a new race as well, where it's half human, half dragon. And this game only has mounts that allow you to run a little bit faster. You cannot fly in this game. They're saving that for the expansion. The expansion will basically be a whole new open world where you can fly with dragon mounts, and you will finally be able to build your own airships and actually fly them. In this game, the airships basically consist of, go to the airship, it takes you to a certain location. So it's more of a cutscene than actually allowing you to fly the airship. Now, my final score of this game is a 9 out of 10. And the reason why it doesn't get a higher rating is when it first came out, there was some severe issues with the servers not being able to handle the sheer amount of people playing. So it took them close to a month to get the servers fixed. Now, they did give everyone a free 30 days added to their account because of that, which I do appreciate. But there was some server issues when the game first came out. Also, some people, if you're starting the game and you're new, a lot of times you will come across people that, since they've been playing this game since launch, they can be kind of jerks. So as long as you can deal with the fact that sometimes you will come across some people that are jerks, that's not that big of a deal. And the other main problem I have with this game are there's guild spammers. You will have people trying to sell you their money in the game called gil. And they've had the same problem on other MMORPGs, including World of Warcraft, so there's no real way around that. Now, those are the only reasons why I'm not giving a higher rating. So if you want to ever try an MMORPG and you really love the Final Fantasy universe, I highly recommend you pick it up. You can get the game pretty cheap, and like I said, it generally does come with a free 30-day trial. And I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed my review.